So my name is Victor Chima, and I'm a data engineer and engineering lead in R&D. For the communities, I'm part of the Black and Christians community here at Spotify.
I'm Gianna, and I'm a machine learning engineer here at Spotify. And I also co-lead our group called Spectrum for LGBTQ plus employees.
I'm Raul. I'm an infrastructure and tools engineer at Spotify, and I'm co-leading the Latinx ERG, but also identify myself in the LGBTQ plus community.
And my name is Tove, and I work within HR, and I'm very involved in the Women at community here.
Number 2. For each of these categories, write down 5 words that have a special meaning to you. Mix them together face down. The categories are 1. Personal life and relationships, 2. Career, and 3. Hobbies and interests.
This is gonna take some time.
Okay, someone is moving faster than
Yeah, I'm stressed.
I'm going to the career.
It would be like nice if we paid them money, and then we would be like, woo!
Take turns drawing one card at a time from the pile. Find your own connection to the word and explain it to the others. Afterwards, the writer of the card explains the original thought behind the word.
Any questions? Otherwise, okay. Go!
I got trust. Mm-hmm. For me, it relates, this one specifically, it's a lot about my career here at Spotify. Like living abroad for a while, still trying to find this identity and so on. But here when Spotify was the first time that I found like an environment that I could trust my manager, I could trust my peers, I could trust the leadership organization exactly to be who I am and not have any kind of fear whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Who wrote this?
So I put that down on the personal life and relationships aspect of stuff, because when I thought about it, like the first thing that came to mind was trust. I feel like that's, at least personally for me, it's the basis of any relationship that I find myself in. So yeah, trust for me is like number 1.
Nice.
Cool.
Cooking.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah, I like eating good food, but I'm so bad at making them. So I try sometimes, and I always just wish I could be a better cook. But yeah, sometimes I just give up because who wants this?
I wrote that, but I don't recognize my letter. You too?
We should do some
Yeah,
dinners.
I do as well. Like, you can...
It was also in the hobbies. I was like, what are my hobbies? I don't do puzzles. But then like I love cooking. Have like magazines where they are in Swedish, so I train my Swedish by reading vegan.
Nice.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time of my life cooking.
Maybe I can feel my own cards.
Yeah, you can see that.
Ooh, this is not mine. Generalist. I think I'm a generalist. So this suits me very well, even though I didn't write it. Because I think I'm quite good at many things, but not in depth. I'm not a specialist. I don't know like everything about something. And I think this is a career topic, which suits me well as well. I mean, in my work, to do many different things. Whose is it?
It's mine!
I can see a pattern.
We need to shuffle again. What I was thinking, it was related to career. Because people expect, you're a machine learning engineer, so therefore you like a very like narrow contributions, and you like lock yourself in a room. And it's not like that. There's a lot of product and project planning and like the data science part, and it's also part of me like trying to bring a wider perspective. Okay, it's not going to be mine. Drama. How I relate to drama is that I hate drama. I'm very like pragmatic person. Like
an engineer, you said?
Yeah, very engineer mindset. Who is drama?
Yeah. But I was thinking when I wrote it, I was like, no, will you understand this as like drama?
Yeah,
Or for me, which is kind of the similar to what I'm thinking, like theater drama.
Yeah.
I would say that has been and is still, but in another way, very like in my life all the time. But before I was always like in theater schools and standing on stage. And I think that's still like affecting what I do today and who I am today, or, very like big part of me.
Okay, I'll pick one. I got reading. How do I relate? I really like reading. It's one of the ways, for example, when I feel very homesick, that's one of the ways that I usually use to get connected to my country, my language, my culture. And I look for one book in my language and then I read it. The homesick goes away. Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it is. So who wrote this?
It was me.
Oh.
I read mostly technical, like engineering, data, but also like some psychology books or like society books. And that's something that I do at home. I don't like do puzzles or make like traditional hobbies, but reading is a hobby, right?
It is.
It's your turn.
Your
Oh, it's
turn.
my turn.
Yeah.
You're
Fast,
always
right?
so surprised.
This is education change. Okay, the one thing just popped into my head because so growing up, I wanted to be a doctor, and I think that's what you want to become when you study sciences in Nigeria. Every kid wants to be a doctor because you're either a doctor or a lawyer. So, and for me, I grew up feeling that I really wanted to do that, and I was able to paint a picture of like what passion seems like in that specific field, and I was like trying to do it a lot. It so happened that at some point I moved to Morocco, where I was supposed to like continue my university education, and I was nudged into engineering instead. Something that I had at the back of my mind, and I tried to avoid as much as possible because I wanted to be a doctor. So, so eventually I did it, and I absolutely love it. Like I'm happy that I'm a software engineer. So, so this relates to me in that sense that's where I am today was as a result of this change.
Nice.
So, whose is this?
That's mine.
Okay.
And it's a bit like I was talking about before, doing the change in paths, like what I thought I would do, because I think I'm a quite like clear person. So sometimes I remind myself that no.
You can turn around and
So yeah. And my own.
How many did you
Yeah,
write?
You wrote
did I
like a
have-
slightly modern.
Ooh, gay. I don't identify as gay. I was more thinking like probably everything I read in the media and friends that are gay that has a really hard time and that I feel very, very privileged sometimes. No one's questioning me ever. And that is a just thing I take for granted. Whose is it?
Yeah. No, I identify myself as gay. And why I wrote this, I think it's a really it's a big part of my what I am today. Because coming from a very dangerous country for the LGBTQ community, I was living like a double life. So then, moving from my country and coming to Sweden, where like it's totally fine, it's totally natural, I could finally be myself. But this journey bring me to where I am and to where I like be as a person, as a human being, as an employee, and all of this together.
This is a good one.
Because it's your own.
My role here. I think how I relate to it is like my role in the world is about like contributing and also like inspiring so that other people, so it's like a viral effect. This is very like profound. Who is
It's very deep.
very
Who wrote
deep.
this?
It wasn't that deep. It's mine. I met my role here at Spotify. So I had it as one of my career topics because I was wondering, and then like, yeah, my role here, I think I'm thinking very much about like, who am I? What work am I doing? And trying to map out also because I'm quite new to the whole workplace. My career right now is a lot to take form. It's not like, this is how I work, this is who I am, I can move myself to a new company, but I'm just like forming right now. This is kind of abstract.
I wasn't afraid of sharing anything. It was easy in this sense, like, you know, like it wasn't a lot of effort to really make it work.
Everyone has like so many like different lives. Like everyone has so many dimensions, and I think it's really interesting to understand more about like this.
I'm not used to having this organized way of talking about me personally. I feel all of us we're giving quite much of ourselves. We could do this much more surfaced and just write like really plain stuff.
You
Thank
build
you.
connections.
You build connections and relations. That kind of mirrors some of the things that attract us to Spotify in terms of like the culture and stuff like that. Yeah.
Really good job, really
Cool.
nice talk, and that feels so natural and interesting to hear. Learn about your.
Yeah, we're like, and who are you?
Exactly.
You said nothing about yourself.
Pick one.
Pick one now. Like.
You can have this show like every Saturday.
Every
Fantastic.